Guys, welcome to another episode, and make sure you like, subscribe, press that button there or there or there because I'm not sure how I'm going to edit it. Loai,
It's me,
Sahi or Sahi or
Lowi
Sahi?
Sahi.
Sahi. I just want to tell you something about Loai before we start, of like how humble he is, that he's literally said that he's not putting out another video on YouTube until all of his subscribers subscribe to this channel. So I really like the support that he's doing there. So
I
if
really like
it takes a year, it takes a year.
I really like the
You know,
honesty behind what you just
yeah,
said.
you know, the sacrifice you make, I feel like it's for a greater good, and it's not just for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk, man. I'm really interested in the whole. Let's start with the origins, where you're
Yeah.
from and where you grew up, because you didn't grow up in Iraq, right?
No, so I'm born in Iraq, and I lived my first year in Baghdad, and I have absolutely no memories of that. And then we moved to Jordan for a few months, and that's like the usual typical Iraqi family living
Yeah,
from Iraq. It's to stay in
yeah, yeah.
Jordan for a while, and then we went to Tunisia
Okay,
for 7 years,
okay.
and this is where I kind of have my best childhood memories. It was beautiful. I think it's still a beautiful country, and only good memories, man. And then we moved to Belgium for
Okay.
12
So that's a
years.
change from the Arabs. From
So
Tunisia is still somewhat still
yeah,
Arab-ish.
yeah. So from but Tunisia for me, it's my first life
Yeah, yeah,
experiences. So
yeah.
before that, I don't
Yeah, yeah.
even have
I'm the
any.
same. Born here, then we went to Lebanon. That's the thing that they do
Oh
from
wow.
from Abu Dhabi to Lebanon.
Okay.
Sorry, to Cyprus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where all the Lebanese go.
Oh really? I
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah. Same as you guys. You have the Jordan, we have the Cyprus.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have said maybe I don't know why Brazil,
No,
because there is so
yeah, dude, Lebanese are all over the place. They're criminals, bro. Everywhere in the world that you go, you're
or
gonna find
even
some organization.
Australia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think because we're lazy, like Lebanon and Cyprus is so close. It's
You are
like,
lazy. Lebanese
yeah.
are man. If Lebanese are lazy, I don't get me started. on,
On
on-
Iraqis.
yeah,
Yeah.
no. From Tunisia to Belgium, it was definitely a shock. A shock. Why? Because of the age
Mm,
where this transition happened, and I was 10 years old,
okay.
and your mind is not fully.
Just figuring out what you are, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you,
Yeah.
you already have so many questions about life,
Mm,
and then these questions um, get multiplied when
mm,
you go to a country where the weather is different, people are
yeah.
different, you look different.
Yeah.
um, Not that I faced racism or anything, but when you're around kids
Yeah.
and you're a bit
You want
when
to
you
feel
look
like you
different.
belong.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
when I was 11, I already had
You
a
had the
small
beard.
mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And no one in my school had a mustache,
Yeah.
even when we graduated
Yeah.
after 10
Exactly.
years,
Yeah.
So this was very hard, but this built me so much, and I spent all those years focusing on understanding the language and also the culture.
When you went, there was no English at all when you went there, or you had
No,
so
I learned English when I came to Dubai.
really.
Yeah.
So you went straight from
Yeah, I went like when I was.
Arabic to
I think R&B helped a lot,
okay.
and the movies
That's why
and
you walked in like this, and I was like, he's got the hips going there. I don't know where that's coming from.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, French is my
Mm,
first language
okay.
today, and then Arabic, and then English, and then Dutch.
Mhm.
So Belgium is a very simple and quiet
Mm,
country. Their people are amazing,
mm,
really kind people, um, good intentions, not that ambitious,
mm.
but it's a chilled
Yeah.
country,
Yeah.
But for a guy who has a lot of dreams, a lot of ambitions, when I graduated, I worked in advertising,
Mm,
and I wanted to grow, and I felt there was no room to grow.
mm.
And so this is when the transition to Dubai happened.
Okay. How
Um,
old were you then?
I was 21.
Okay, so you were quite aware of what you wanted to do from quite a young age.
Oh yeah, from a very young age, I
Mm,
think. Yeah, I think I spent my teenagehood building the vision that I wanted to live in, that I
mm,
wanted to experience, and it's funny because fame was part of it,
mm,
but I didn't know how and when, and um, I remember when I was 18, I wanted to go to Hollywood and try to become an actor,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had zero contact
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the USA.
Yeah,
Thank God I didn't do that. But yeah, so I come to Dubai. I work with my dad in the jewelry business,
Okay.
and for 3 years, and then I just kind of miss the creative
Yeah.
side of my job, which is advertising,
Okay.
and so I start to look for ways to escape the
Mm.
corporate life, and
Mm.
this is when Snapchat came in,
Okay.
and my sister forced me to download it, and I found it so stupid.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
how I feel with TikTok now.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
same feeling,
Yeah.
same feeling. And I deleted the app twice, and she kept forcing me to do Snapchat stories, and so I started to do funny stuff. And you know how they would get deleted after
Yeah, yeah,
24 hours. So I would send it to all my family and friends, and one of the stories went viral,
Okay.
and overnight 8,000 views.
Wow.
And this was the beginning
Yeah.
of it, and this was 2015.
And that's a lot back then as well.
That's the beginning of
Yeah.
social media comedy and content
Yeah.
in the region. I mean, there were YouTubers way before that in Saudi Arabia, and I
But I
think
find that Snapchat in Saudi is huge.
yeah,
Even till now,
mm.
Snapchat is like, they're just all over Snapchat.
Yeah, because I think like till today when I see on my when I look at the demographics on YouTube, and I work closely with Google, and they tell me, by the way, the analytics, when you see 60% male and 40 female, the 60% male, most of them are female, but they had to create
Because they had to
male
make it-
accounts so
okay.
their brothers don't see,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
husbands don't see. So this is why I think Snapchat is more comfortable.
So you started the transgender movement, basically.
maybe
You've got another accolade
the
to add to
digital
that.
one,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
digital one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's funny to see how different cultures are closer or further from different platforms.
Yeah, yeah.
Iraqis are still very heavy on Facebook.
Yeah.
Egyptians as well.
Facebook,
Europe
yeah, I
also.
don't understand. I haven't been on my Facebook for like 10 years
Me
now.
too. Me
I
too.
just, Facebook for me is, I mean, Facebook is more of a mature audience.
Yeah.
Like my older sister and all that stuff, they're on it and they share like certain
And
things. But I just feel like
it's just depressing because it
Yeah.
shows you pictures of you 10 years ago.
Yeah. Do you
Don't
know what I mean?
show
It's like,
me.
I don't wanna
I
see
know
that
I'm
now.
aging.
Yeah,
You know, I can
exactly,
see myself in the
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
But even, is it I think TikTok in China has a completely different name, but it's the same app, right? Is it TikTok or Snapchat?
I'm not sure.
There's one of them that it's basically like a franchise. Like different countries are using the
Oh.
same thing, but they're using different things.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay. I know that they don't have WhatsApp. They have WeChat, but
Yeah,
that's the
WeChat.
only thing I know about the whole
Yeah, yeah.
China.
And
That's
China's it's like it's weird because it's very kind of like watched over what they're doing, so they have to kind of like
Yeah.
VPN their way around everything, and it's a lot more than I mean. You
Do
can't
they
take for
even have
granted.
Google? I don't think they have Google.
No, they have their own one, which is
Yeah.
which I'm sure is one guy going, nope, like answering the questions to however they want them to answer them. So you were saying that Facebook is big in Iraq, and do you have like still close ties to Iraq? Do you still feel very Iraqi, or
I feel very Iraqi. Yes. Am I as Iraqi as a guy my age who lived all his life in Iraq? Not sure. Not sure because they've seen things I haven't seen, and I have seen things they haven't seen.
Yeah.
And there's both positive and negative in both worlds. But I think they've gone through so much that you and me cannot handle.
Yeah, of course.
I think we're so blessed and pampered in the cities where we lived and still live. But I'm definitely Iraqi. This is the language I speak at home. This is the food I enjoy, the music I listen to. But you can't really be 100% Iraqi or Lebanese when you traveled all those countries.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been to Cyprus, you've been
Dude,
to London.
I spent 2 years traveling around the world without shoes on and just a backpack, literally.
Wow.
Like everywhere, and learning languages wherever I went there. I just loved traveling, and I did it by myself.
And you didn't find any new pair of shoes?
I didn't.
In all those countries?
I didn't want them. I was that time I had long hair up to here.
Wow.
And I was like a hippie. And
do you have pictures of that?
Yeah, I do.
Can you put them in the edit?
Yeah, I'll put it in there. You see me,
Okay.
and that's when I was doing like capoeira in Brazil, and I was jumping around the place.
Oh my God.
I had this whole kind of like you know, when you're not wearing shoes, you're earth to the vibrations of the floor. So
But I love that.
yeah, do you know what I
You
mean?
have
So
to
it was kind
experience
of
that.
like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm not gonna wear them and stuff. One thing I want to ask about Iraq.
Wait. We didn't finish. How did you grow after this experience?
Oh, amazingly, dude. I think personally, if you don't travel, you miss out on 3/4 of a life. Personally, um, traveling is by far the best teacher that you could ever have.
Yeah.
You know, and I highly recommend that if you travel alone.
Okay.
Because when
I-
you travel with friends, let's go and do this tomorrow. Let's wake up at 5:45 to
Yeah.
see the sunrise over this mountain and this and that. And you're like, look, I just want to
Yeah.
chill and do things in my time or whatever. And on top of that, if you're like me, I get bored very easily. Like I'm not into this whole, like I don't go out, I don't party, I don't drink and all that stuff. So I like making friends that I can run away from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you're there, so for example, you're in Argentina, you meet 3-4 people, you hang around a bit, and then khalas, you're going to another country, you
Yeah.
leave them behind, and it was nice while it lasted.
And this
And
comes
you move
back
on.
to the fact that we travel different countries, and we
Yeah.
know that once you go to a new life, a new country, you can't really be still friends with
Do you know what I mean?
everyone,
Yeah.
and so you get a weird feeling of detachment from
Exactly.
everything,
Exactly.
which is healthy, I think.
I think it is as well. And also, I had flight changes in my package. So, for example, I went to Argentina. I was supposed to stay for 4 days, but I stayed 4.5 weeks just because of the steak.
Wow.
By far, it was I had 42 steaks in 4.5 weeks. So, like, I
Wow.
counted them. It was the most amazing meat
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
tasted in my life. It was just terrific.
Yeah.
But I think for traveling, my kids 100%. Anytime, if they haven't told me already I want to travel, I'm going to force them to travel.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Go and just.
Yeah. You learn, but then you shouldn't travel for too long because
Then you lose touch of what's
yeah,
going on.
I mean, you still need this stability to grow. I think
Depending on your age.
yeah, it's not some
I think if you're 17, 18, 19, you can afford a couple of years out traveling.
yeah, of course, but you can get lost as well.
Yeah.
Depends which trips you do.
Aren't we all lost anyway?
Yeah, that's very interesting because you still need to build something, and to be able to build something you need to be stable. Now we're talking about 1 year of traveling, 2 years of traveling, that's fine, but some people, they would have already a career, and then
Yeah.
they would say, oh
Leave it and go.
yeah, I want to leave it and go, and then they come back and everything is lost.
Yeah.
And I don't know how smart that is. I don't know how.
But again, everyone's on their own journey, so you can't really tell people
Yeah.
what the right thing and the wrong thing. Which is what, when you were saying that you always knew what you wanted to do, I was speaking to my wife about this, and this is what fascinates me. I think a part of me wanted to be. I always wanted to have something that I loved more than anything in the world, and I didn't quite have that. I liked doing things till I was good at them, and then that's it. I got bored and I'd move on to the next one. But I always envy people, like, for example, you know, a kid that I know that I want to make clay or I want to make pots and I want to work with clay, and they do that their whole life and it's their passion and they have no other left and
Yeah.
rights and it's that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
admire people that have a passion from young and they stick with it. They know what they're doing, whatever. Because some people are like 50, they don't have any idea what they're they still don't know what they're doing.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a minority who really knows what they want and find their passion. And I think it's one of the hardest things in life is to find your passion, because how many things you have to explore before finding it.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it just hits you by accident. Like, look at me. Never I would imagine 10 years ago that I would have a channel on YouTube and working with the government and traveling with the best brands in the world and getting paid for talking.
Yeah.
This 10 years ago, this is a dream that didn't even exist on paper.
Yeah.
So it's luck, it's timing, it's being aware of your surrounding and being open to new experiences and new stuff. But yeah, I feel sad for people who spend their lives without knowing their passion.
But also at the same time, it's also a case of, like you said, it's not only luck, being in the right place at the right time, but there's also some people who have the passion, try it, and it just doesn't work for them. And then that kind of really messes with them mentally because...
Yeah, but then you come back to the purpose. What is your purpose to be happy with your passion, or is your purpose to make money, or is your purpose to keep that passion as a hobby? and the stronger your purpose, the further you can go. To me, my purpose is I want to create memories on my YouTube channel, so one day I can show it to my future kids.
Yeah.
This is a purpose you cannot stop me from doing anything on my channel.
I resonate with that so much because I was literally saying to my wife when I first started this, I said, imagine something happened to me in 10 years. I've literally left them, you know, they'll know who their father is by watching these. They'll know my character, they know my sense of humor, they'll know what I like, they know my views on things and everything. That I'm leaving them something,
Of course.
whether directly or indirectly, while I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They will have a catalog of my life and my communications and how I you know, communicate people. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't think an accountant can put a camera on his desk and film every day of his life to show his kids, because it's not something visual or but what we do, we're lucky to be part of an industry where you can actually really speak out loud and say things, and just being free to say whatever you think.
It's really amazing, but a lot of people don't want to do it as well. They want to do it, but they never start because of fear and because of, oh, will people accept me? Will people, you know, will I get, because they're looking at the wrong things. They're like, will I get this many followers or subscribers in this amount of time?
It means that these people are
they're
not
in it for the right reasons.
They're not made
you know
for
what I
this
mean?
then.
Yeah.
They're not made for this, because these are the last questions you can ask yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
These are the last thing you would think of if you have a clear and strong message.
Yeah.
I don't think Malala went, oh, what will people think of me?
Yeah.
Or Luther King, or
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a fire inside you, and you have to slowly get it out.
An extension of yourself, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to talk about your YouTube, but before I do, I find it fascinating how people think of different cultures in different ways. So, for example, if I went up to, you know, a 25-year-old in London, and I said, "Tell me about Iraq," they'd be like, "Saddam Hussein."
Yeah, a British or an Iraqi in London?
Everyone apart from an Iraqi.
Okay.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Or Arabs, or someone who's really into history.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is, most of what we have now comes from Mesopotamia, that whole region.
Yeah.
When it comes to the first city, mathematics, cuneiform writing, you know, letters, advanced maths, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And somewhere along
the first wheel, I think. Also.
They did the first. It was called I think it was called the Map 60 or something. So they created the 60 seconds, the 60 minutes, and the 60.
Yeah.
And they created, you say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 7 days because of that and all that stuff. And how could something so important have disappeared in culture, which I find fascinating?
I think it's very actual. You're talking about Babylon and Mesopotamia, but till today, a country that's rich in brains and rich in soil, it's very easily compromised. By bigger powers. And
media
and media and everything. And it's very sad that because in Iraq we have so many talents, so many even in Lebanon, but we're just ruled by people who don't wish good to the country, or they don't even care about their job. They're just there to enjoy life.
That's it.
Enjoy life in London.
Exactly. Get the short side.
Yeah, exactly. So I've never really been interested in history. Because for me it's so far away that I cannot really connect to it. But I'm sure there are some similarities between before and now. Like, I feel rich countries are always used by other countries. Like even in Africa.
Like Africa, it's been
it's crazy
because of all of the stuff is in the soil, basically, and all of its what's the word I'm looking for? It's natural resources and minerals and all that stuff that it's being used for everyday things. And it's kind of funny how you can kind of live your whole life and not realize what's going on. You know, and where things are being taken from, how phones are made. And
I think one of the things that's keeping me happy and positive and is that I'm very far from politics. and this is, I think, very healthy.
Yeah.
I know so many people will disagree with me because politics is what makes you move forward. It's your voice. This is more
Yeah.
a European perspective,
Yeah.
where you have to have an
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
You have to.
You like the whole ignorance is bliss kind of thing. So,
Yeah, I really just live my life, do my job,
yeah.
enjoy my coffee or my
Yeah.
beer,
Yeah.
or and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. If I have a message, I'll deliver it,
Yeah.
and then who cares? I'm just
That's it. Yeah.
because I've never been living in my country, so
Mm.
it's never been one of my interests to have opinions or. And the good thing about the UAE is that it's ruled so well, and
Very well.
it's such a clever leadership
Yeah.
that you don't even worry about
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's you're living
Yeah.
in the perfect city.
Yeah.
It's really perfect.
Yeah. It is being made into a kind of utopian kind of
It's like
place.
Disneyland.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. The
Yeah,
safety and everything that and the
Yeah.
way they've done it all.
exactly.
It's obviously very hard behind the scenes
Mm.
to make it all like this.
Yeah, of course.
But the way it's just seamlessly working is
Yeah, you're still talking about leading human beings, and
Yeah.
human beings, they have flaws and they have differences, and to reach a certain level of positivity and perfection, you have to sacrifice, you have to be tough, you have to. But I
also in
think,
the time as well. In the
Yeah.
small time that they've managed to make it like
yeah,
this.
of course, it's an example. It's crazy. It's a company.
Yeah, right?
It's like a startup
yeah.
that boomed.
Yeah. It's the viral video that went crazy. So how
Yeah.
did you get into the YouTube? What made you say, okay, I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos?
I got, so after Snapchat, I got a bit annoyed because I used to do comedy, and comedy in our world is perceived as you're stupid and you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
too much time to waste.
Yeah.
So I wanted to prove to people that I have another side to my personality, and
Yeah.
more than one side.
Yeah.
So so I started doing these vlogs. This was very new. Doing a vlog, nobody knew how to pronounce it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Arabic.
Yeah. You've been doing vlogs.
Vlog,
Yeah, vlog.
vlog. So heavily inspired by Casey Neistat,
Okay. The ultimate vlogger.
the first
Yeah.
vlogger ever, and yeah, it just made me feel that this is my therapy. I would still crack a lot of jokes. It's a very positive content, but I can introduce for the first time small messages. I can have fun with production. I can put music. And suddenly all what I've learned in my artistic career, I can put it in one place, that is YouTube. So it was very exciting, and I did some risky moves. I stopped suddenly Snapchat, saying this is my last story. If you want to find me, I'll be on Facebook. First it was Facebook, and then these 30,000 people came to Facebook, and then they became 300,000, and then, guys, I'm not into Facebook anymore, sorry, come to YouTube.
Okay.
And on YouTube, this is where really it really boomed.
They stayed loyal.
Yeah.
The people followed.
And and I shifted a lot of audience from Facebook to YouTube from Iraq, and this was something new.
And with your YouTube, did you take your original videos from Facebook and put them there, or
No,
you
it was
started
all
fresh?
new. No, I started fresh.
So how did you feel when you were going into YouTube on your first ever vlog? Were you like, is this gonna work? Were you confident? Were you ready to go?
The first vlog, and I think you told me you want to talk about that story. Yeah. My first vlog was a gift to one of my followers on Snapchat. It was a girl who had cancer, and she was following me from the beginning, and her dream was to see Dubai, and she lives in Iraq, and she couldn't come to Dubai because she was at a very late stage of cancer. And so my first vlog was really, I went to buy a camera, and it was like a private visit of Dubai, as if this girl was next to me, and I would start walking from old Dubai to new Dubai, showing my favorite places, streets, restaurants, and at the end there was like a shout out to her, and I invited my fans to show her support and love. And so this was my first vlog. So when you start with this,
it started from a place of love and a very good essence.
Yeah, you start with a strong message, and you're like, oh, so what am I gonna do for the next one? because I set the bar so
Yeah, yeah.
high. Um, and I think what kept me going is the purpose. There has
Yeah.
always been a big purpose.
Yeah.
It has never been about fame.
Yeah.
Never.
And what would you say your purpose is?
My purpose is, it's really trying to understand the world and then trying to explain it back to my audience, and with a lot of
Yeah, yeah.
humor, with
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of, but it's interesting to see everyone has a different vision. Like
Yeah.
today, when you watch stand-up comedians, they all treat the same subjects: money,
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
women, food.
Yeah.
But it's funny to see how Louis C.K. or Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock would say completely different things
Yeah, yeah.
about these
Yeah, yeah.
same
The same
topics.
topics, yeah.
So and they're all good. So this is what fascinates me, is we're all talking about life. This is what we're doing here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure you're gonna have the same questions with another guest, and they will give you something completely different.
Yeah, at the end, we have a question that I've asked on every single
Oh,
episode.
okay,
It'll be
okay,
interesting
okay.
to see your
Yeah, yeah.
your answer. That's great. So, okay, so when you went to YouTube, and then you put out your vlogs, and then you started to see, okay, well, hold on a minute, this is getting carried away. The subs are going up, 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 up.
Yeah.
Did you find that you were in a place where it started to affect you mentally, in a stage where you kind of like, okay, now I have a job to do. I cannot slack on this. I cannot decide I don't want to do a vlog today because I have people relying on me.
So the funny thing is, so I did a few vlogs in the beginning, and then I decided to leave my job and become daily vlogger.
Okay.
And when I became daily vlogger, it was this crazy race for a year, non-stop of doing vlogs. So I was the happiest guy on earth.
Yeah.
I was so in the same frequency with the world. I don't know how to explain it, but everything was aligned perfectly, because it's like running, and there's something running behind you, and you have to learn and deliver, and it was booming. So everything was beautiful, everything was amazing. More exposure, more fans, more brands, more money, more power. So all of this, obviously you have to be a bit mature to know how to deal with this, but it was all very exciting until I stopped daily vlogging. And when I stopped daily vlogging, what happened is that I collapsed physically.
From the tiredness of having to film, and did you edit yourself as well?
Yeah, daily.
So it's non-stop.
Yeah. And mentally as well, because mentally I still don't know at which point I was mentally down. I think the fact that I was talking daily to the camera, it was a therapy. And now I'm suddenly in my new apartment. For the first time, I live alone for a few months, and I'm alone.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I'm alone for a whole day.
Yeah.
And this was the hardest thing ever for me.
Yeah.
Because I was always moving, I was always joking, making fun, trying to find articles to talk about. And now it's like I'm not talking to anyone. And this was very hard. And I think it took years, man. It took years to get out of it. And I still feel I'm not totally out of it. Because when I stopped, I kind of also disappeared from the platform. And you expect that when you come back, everyone is like waiting for you. But no, a lot of new talents came, a lot of very, very good content creators came, and we're talking about 2017. And YouTube became really a thing in the region.
Sorry to interrupt. How long were you out for?
I was out for, I would say, maybe 6 months.
It's a long time in digital world.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a long period. So I come back. Everything is still great, but because it's not daily vlogging, I don't have the same pressure. I don't have the same vibe, the same energy. So it was on and off, on and off. I also grew, and the problem is I delivered so much that I didn't know what to say anymore.
Yeah, what I had left.
Yeah. So and then you start reading comments. You've changed. You're not the same. Your videos were better. We got used to something else. But the thing is, even if I'm being myself, people will say, you changed. Why? Because before it was not just a video, it was a whole week of content. It was a whole vibe.
yeah.
And when you see something for the first time, you enjoy it. But when it's repetitive, then it becomes boring. So I kind of reinvented myself. I stepped into new things, and this helped a lot. I did a funny cooking show. I did a web series. I started giving more of like motivational videos, sketches, and so this is the way I'm stepping out of it slowly.
And is it something that you want to fizzle out of YouTube and start getting into other things, or?
No, I think the vlog format will always be my core DNA,
Yeah.
but I would only do it now when there is something specific.
Yeah.
While before I was filming every day, and I was forcing myself to have something happening in my day.
Yeah, yeah.
But today I'm stepping into a more scripted or more studied type of content before filming.
Yeah.
Because people now they became aware also that they're not interested to see your day anymore. They want to see something else. They want to see an idea. They want to. Yeah.
I mean, this is really important. What you're saying as well, where I find that I'm in a place now where I'm very sure of what I want, of who I am. Obviously, we change every day. What you think now might be completely different in 6 months or whatever. But I have friends who say, get this guy on. He's got 9 million followers. But I don't like the guy. I don't find him interesting. I don't feel like he has anything interesting to say to the thingy. His market or whoever it does, I'm not getting into who it is or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this because I'm a curious person. I like interesting people. I'm not just doing this for people who are watching or listening. I'm doing it for me too. I like to learn too. I like to have nice conversations. I like to spend time with people I find interesting. So it feels very fake to me to be just chasing subs or whatever by getting people who, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and by doing that, you're building a niche, smart and interesting audience as well.
Exactly.
So, and I'm today in a stage where I would rather have 100K followers than a million who don't care, who are just curious. Yeah, of course, because you can impact the 100K
Exactly.
while the other million might not even be listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, that's why you have to build the 300 soldiers that are gonna stay there.
No, I think it's what we're doing is important because it's helping us also to understand what we're doing and where we're heading. YouTube is fun, but podcast is as I said, it's a format that I'm exploring lately and exploring daily, heavily, and I'm in love with it now. I'm driving my car listening to podcast. I go to the gym listening to a podcast.
The same thing.
And I don't even read the titles. I just listen to different stuff.
I've got a couple of good ones for you.
Sometimes it's lawsuit. One time it's mental health. One time it's psychology. I love Radiolab. I love the Tim Ferriss. I think his name. Wow, beautiful, beautiful.
I think you'd like Lex Friedman as well.
Okay, you have to send me all of those.
Free shout out, Lex. There. And you have to. I mean, you must know Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Joe Rogan,
he's
I see him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is it different from his? No, it's the same podcast, but on YouTube,
same
right?
Podcast. Well, now he's gone from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
He's only on Spotify, so he sold for 200 mil.
No way.
Yes, for a 3-year contract with Spotify, and now he's only on Spotify for the next 3 years.
Wow.
And all of his episodes have kind of gone there. He'll still do clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
like Jay-Z says, only in America.
Exactly. So Spotify Middle East, if you want to give me 200 million, even dirhams, it doesn't have to be dollars. It's fine. I'll take dirhams.
They will give you one Lebanon.
Exactly.
And one fattoush.
Exactly. And the fattoush won't have any bread in it either. It'll be like a leftover one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sahi Media.
Okay.
What is it? Where is it going? And what's the image? What's the vision? Sorry.
So Sahi Media is like a twin project to Lowi Sahi, because when I started to work with brands on my YouTube channel, there was a production value that was different from other content creators back at the time, and so I've been simply approached by brands saying we wanna film videos with you as a director and not as
So
an
not on,
influencer.
okay, not on the screen. Okay.
Yeah. And I found myself directing and producing commercials, documentaries for several entities. And so I was actually forced to open Sahi Media to get the papers,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make everything
It's like I want
legal.
to get paid.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly. And this is how it started. And the good thing about that is that we never really looked for clients, or we never set a strategy, because we were working on the existing clients and the people that I knew, and I didn't have time anyway to accommodate new clients. But today, Sahi Media has to grow because the potential is there,
Is
the
there to
talents
take
is
it, yeah.
there. I want to expand. If anyone is looking for a job in Dubai, can I do this?
Yes, of course. That's why you're here.
I'm looking for people who can really enjoy working in media, and I think it's definitely a creative agency, but with a big arm of production. And so what we do is we try to break patterns to get people and brands exposed in a
Amazing.
different way.
Where do I sign?
It depends for which position.
Just email me the positions. I feel like I like to create positions. Let's create a position for me. Like, I don't want one of these normal
Sitting
positions.
is a position.
It is a position, and I think I said pretty well.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
very
I do
well,
look well.
very
If you need
well.
any pictures of guys just sitting on mics and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, no, and you want to start your own podcast as well?
Yeah, I've done some few episodes, and
Of your own one or other people's
no,
ones?
no, my own ones on
Okay.
my YouTube channel, and they performed very well. I just did one last week, uh, uh, but again, you have to bring interesting people, and what you said is true. You have to bring interesting people, and unfortunately, you also have to bring people who also they have their own audience, or their own big family, because today you cannot survive only on on putting the spot on um, random stories.
Yeah.
They're all random stories, but when you listen to them from someone who has an impact, it makes the story
Of
more
course.
more important, or more.
Of course.
I don't know if what I just said makes sense, but I think even if you bring someone famous, but you discuss about someone else's life,
Yeah. Yeah.
or a story that you heard, or it's more interesting, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm totally with you with that, and also it's about collaborating and people. And this is the problem that we have. I don't know if it's just in the Arab world or everywhere, but nobody wants to help anyone. Everyone is after their own.
Really?
Yeah, I find that a lot here,
Mm.
and it's not necessarily with the Arabs.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the influencer world, it's there's a lot of what's in it for me.
It's weird because okay, YouTube is a very different game. As YouTubers, I've never seen so much help coming more than from the YouTube community. I don't know why. But on Instagram, no way.
That's what I'm talking about. The Instagram
No
one.
way.
Yeah.
It's everyone on their own.
Everyone for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very strange because even when I was I was doing personal training for a long time, elite, high level personal training.
Yeah.
And on one day, I put on my stories. I was like, "Hey guys, listen. This guy, this guy, this girl, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Amazing coaches. If you're looking for a trainer, go and message them and whatever." And one of my friends was like, "Dude, you're giving away potential clients to these people." And I'm like, "I don't care. I think they're good trainers and they should be.
Yeah.
You know, why shouldn't I give them a little boost or whatever? Like, we're supposed to be one family here. Everybody's supposed to be helping everybody out. What's with this selfishness?
Yeah.
I can't even take any more clients anymore. I don't have time."
I think the big difference is that on Instagram it's easy to get famous.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy, you're scared that someone
will take whatever
knows your secret and how
yeah.
you got famous. While on YouTube, it's such a hard work.
Yeah.
That there is respect when you see another YouTuber that is booming, or that is bigger or smaller than you, doesn't matter. But it's I genuinely respect every YouTuber in the Middle East, even the ones that I wouldn't watch their content. They've done something. the amount of work that you put as an Instagram influencer, I don't know what it requires, because it's not how I
It
grew.
requires,
But
yeah, it requires nothing. I can tell you that now.
is it the caption? Is it
One picture of your ass and the caption, and this is what I
yeah,
understand. You got a girl who's putting a picture of a G-string up and then a quote from Buddha underneath it. And what's the one and two got to
yeah,
do together? Like Gandhi did not talk about this. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah,
Like, do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And even like with what you're saying is really important, because even to upload a video on YouTube
yeah.
takes
I
half an
mean,
hour, and to edit it, and to
I
do this,
I
and
came
to do
late
that.
to
Yeah,
you today because I shot a video of, like, it's a motivational speech with the stock footages.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
the classic
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I'm exploring a new format, and it took me um, an hour to write
Mm.
it. It took me an hour and a half to film
To
it.
film it and then to
It
edit it.
took me 3 hours to edit because
Yeah,
I had to look for the stock images
yeah,
and
yeah,
buy them.
yeah, yeah,
$200.
yeah,
And you finish the edit, and then it's 20 minutes of upload. Then
yeah,
you have to create a thumbnail.
yeah.
It's a job.
Then the thumbnail is too big, so you have to convert the picture so it becomes a
Yeah.
JPEG that's small
Yes,
enough to become into the thumbnail. Like, they don't
exactly,
see like what's going
exactly.
on
Yeah,
behind.
yeah,
And
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the thing that I love. Like a friend of mine was like, "Oh, bro, how come your subscribers didn't go up that long ago?" And I was like, "YouTube is not Instagram, dude." I
yeah,
was like, "This, what I'm doing now, I love doing it." Like you said, I listen to podcasts all day. When I'm driving, when I'm training, I listen to comedy podcasts in the gym, and I'm sitting there lifting, like squatting 200 kg and cracking up laughing.
mm,
And people are looking at me like, "What's wrong with this guy? He's insane." They don't know what I'm listening to,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm pissing myself on the floor laughing
yeah,
while I'm lifting the weights and all that stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's a part of me. Podcasting is, I love it. I love hearing people communicate. I think
yeah,
the voice and communication is
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
So I'm in this for a long game. Whether
mm,
it takes 3, 4, 5 years for people to enjoy it, let them take 3, 4, 5 years. I
yeah,
don't care. Like, I'm doing this regardless if I have 1 subscriber or 10 million. I enjoy doing it because,
exactly.
like we said before, even if the video doesn't get millions of views, I'm getting the one view that's really important.
Yeah,
I'm getting to know the guest. I'm building my own circle of my community of people that I'm choosing to be my family and friends, because
yeah,
you build your own circles,
yeah.
and your what's the word of
Community.
your community. So
There's a funny story. Usually, when you say it's a funny story, it's not funny anymore
yeah,
because your
yeah, yeah,
expectations get high. Um, I have, okay. I don't like to state this,
mm,
but I have 300 million views on my YouTube channel,
yeah,
which led to a lot of opportunities, a lot
yeah,
of brand collaborations, a lot of offers, even job offers. And this is the 300 million views. 2 years ago, I opened a French channel.
yeah,
On the French channel, I have, I think, 10,000 subscribers,
yeah,
and I think on each video, 2,000, three
yeah,
thousand views.
yeah.
I'm getting today more people approaching me from my French channel than my
Wow,
Arabic one,
wow,
because of the quality of the people.
yeah,
And I even signed now with a radio,
yeah,
because head of production, she's French, and
yeah,
she was watching my French channel in
wow,
Dubai.
yeah,
So it's not about the number,
yeah,
really.
yeah,
It's about the quality
yeah,
of your community. It's like families. You can
yeah,
have
yeah,
a huge family, but no one talks to anyone.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, and you can be like just your parents and you, and have the most incredible
Yeah,
household ever.
yeah,
So yeah, but again, it's, if you look at it from a money perspective, yes,
mm,
then the audience, the numbers are very
mm.
important. But if you pursue what you like, and you want to expect,
Eventually, but I feel like anything that's done out of love and passion eventually will work.
yeah, of course,
Whether you're lucky and it takes, you could just
yeah.
fart in the mic and a million people find it funny, and then you collect
Yeah,
like, you
and
know what I mean?
the purpose, you need to
Yeah,
follow the purpose.
exactly,
The stronger the purpose, it's how many whys can you write on a
exactly.
paper, why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
And the more you write, the more you're solidifying your
yeah,
project.
and you bring it alive, and then
Yeah,
it's a thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I absolutely love doing it, and like I said, I've built connections through these podcasts and made friends that otherwise I wouldn't have.
mm,
With certain guests.
mm.
Because imagine this: in 1 hour and a half of us talking, or in an hour of us talking, when do you get this opportunity to do that with a new person? that
Yeah,
you just
true.
meet in
True.
life in general.
True.
When was the last time you met someone and spoke to them non-stop for an hour?
Wasted in Soho, maybe.
Right? But other than that,
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah,
It very rarely happens
yeah,
that you get to learn so much about someone. Like the conversation we'll have today, in a normal scenario where I met you from a friend and I see you a few times, it'll
yeah.
probably take us about 8 months to get this much
That's
information about
that's
that person.
a very nice approach. I never thought of it, but it's so true.
You know?
But it takes two very open-minded people
Yes. Yeah.
to get the conversation
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then again, and this is the thing, like I was saying, you meet people and then you go, well, that was bloody fantastic.
yeah,
I like you, so I'm gonna message you randomly
yeah,
and be like, hey, what you doing? Let's go to the beach. Or hey, what you doing? Let's do this. Or
yeah.
let's do that. Like, and you never know that things that might happen. You never know. We might be sitting here now, love this. Next year, be like, do you want to start a podcast together? Yeah, let's start a podcast together. Why not? And then you do. That's another branch of
Of
what you were
course.
doing. Of that, you
Yeah,
built
yeah, yeah.
something out of nowhere. That
And it became so easy today
Mm.
to penetrate the media, and I think it's cool to
yeah,
be
because
living
we're
in.
our own news, right?
Yeah, it's cool to be in 2020.
Yeah.
Now our kids will make fun of us in 2050.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's they were like, what is this wire? Why do they have to?
Yeah, right. They're, like the mic isn't even in their head.
Yeah.
Like they're not filming each other through their eyes.
Why
It's
are they
really
sitting
strange.
together?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
too close.
Yeah, right. Why are their chairs not like moving them around
What
and
is
stuff?
this?
Yeah, what's the green stuff? Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
true. Like the way
yeah.
things move. But I mean, I love it, and I think over everything, communication is the most important thing in life.
Yeah,
To be able to communicate, because not a lot of people actually can do that. I think it's a skill that gets developed,
yeah, of course.
because some people cannot, like so many people have messaged me after, or other friends have been like, how long have you known that person that was on this episode or that episode? And I was like, oh, I met them 10 minutes before. And they were like, no way. Like, how are you guys talking like that? And how are you,
Yeah,
like, it seems like you guys have known each other for ages,
yeah.
that you never know. So I think that's an important skill that
Yeah,
that
of
gets
course,
developed
and
and will get
it,
developed more.
it develops because if you look back at how I was as a teenager, I was very introverted. I was shy. I wasn't sure if I should say my opinion or not. In the house, I was a monkey. I was, but once I'm outside the street, it was. I'm I'm very proud that I can talk freely today, and I'm not like I came over this fear of talking in public or and it's by confronting your fear that you succeed. Like I remember the first time I had to do a public speech was also in 2016 in front of the C-levels of Toyota who came from Japan
Wow.
to the Middle East, and I had to speak to them about content creation because it was something new at the time. And I was so scared, so stressed. I was so ready because it's my topic,
It's your
my
thing, you know
life,
it,
my and once I was done, zero mistake. I was so surprised that all this fear came from nothing. So easy.
Yeah, and it's just literally, if you convince yourself that you're scared, you'll be scared.
Yeah, and then I'm talking about topics that I'm in control of.
Yeah, you're well
like
versed
now,
in
if
it
you're
as well,
gonna talk to me about physics, I'm gonna start sweating.
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
gonna go back to that state.
Let's talk about the theory of relativity just for a second now while we're here.
Yeah, let's not.
So let's talk about people who are new, people who want to do this thing and want to get into content creation and these kind of things. Where do they start?
With luck. Luck is a big factor of success. No, let's keep luck as the final output of success. I think having a strong passion for things, for one thing or for things. It can be cooking, it can be cars, it can be hairstyle, it can be fashion. But you have to have something that you love and understand so much that you can divide it in episodes, endless episodes. You have to have charisma, and that's very important. We don't say it enough, but you have to be charismatic because you're gonna talk to people.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be energetic. You have to be interesting. Um, talent, talent of creation of. I think every YouTuber has to experience the fact of filming himself or
Yeah, yeah.
herself and editing and fix the audio. And I'm from that generation that did all of that in the beginning. Now I'm sure there are so many people on YouTube who started directly with a production house and they're only the voice of their channel. Um, yeah, strong purpose, passion, talent, charisma, and unfortunately luck. You have it's in every business. When you go back to people who really succeeded, you can see a big chunk of that success. It was luck,
Right place,
and
right
my
time.
and I was lucky, and I always say it. I was lucky um, that I started in 2015, 16, and there was no competition. If I had to start today, it would have been so different.
Really?
I might not even hit 100K because of the competition. And the competition is very different from what I am offering. The, what's booming now on YouTube is family shows, it's pranks, it's challenges, food challenges. I don't want to do this. It's not my thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's it, you can read it in the books. Every successful story has a lot of chance in it.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they were born the same year. That's
Yeah, yeah.
why when they were 18,
Yeah, yeah. They were doing the same thing.
they saw the first computer, and
Yeah.
this is when the interest generated. Um, so yeah, but I would recommend anyone who has a strong feeling from the inside that they want to share something, do it.
Just take that
What's
first
the
step.
worst that can happen?
Yeah, make the first one and then see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't feel like there's a lot of podcasts in this in the Middle East.
I'm new to podcasts, so I don't know.
In the Middle East, I mean, I've searched and I've looked, and I don't think that there's many.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening with a lot of them is they're doing a very kind of back and forth interview process as opposed to the conversation.
Yeah.
Which I think makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because unless you're very, very interested in the guest, as in you're heavily invested in them as a fan,
Yeah.
you're not really going to want to listen
Yeah.
to an interview. You can listen to two strangers speak, though. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know what's going on. You don't expect whatever. You know, you don't know that they initially decided to do the podcast naked before and then changed their minds last minute, like we did. You know, so you don't know what's going on. But I think with two people, so many times I've landed on a random podcast while I'm listening to my other ones that's come in there, and I'll just play it, and then it's become a podcast that I just listen to because the two characters that were there were so hilarious or they were so interesting that I was like,
and it's balanced. When it's balanced, is good. But I love podcasts with a theme, with a clear. Man, there are people who put so much budget in a podcast, like Radiolab. They would travel and record in New York and in LA, and they would go to Europe, and the sound effects and the music, it's like watching a documentary.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good, but at the same time, you don't need any of that.
Yeah.
If somebody that can talk and start a conversation and make it interesting,
of
you
course.
can literally just have two mics and a camera and that's about it. You know? Here's a question for you. What happens when you die?
What happens when I die?
Yeah.
I will. So it's weird. I've already thought of this so much, but it's weird to know that when you're gonna die, you're gonna still exist in some form.
Elaborate.
Due to my work.
Yeah.
I will still have my videos. I will still have my opinion, what I thought of the world that I lived in. It must be so weird also for my family or friends to see that I'm still there. You know what I mean? While if you're not a public figure, your family cannot experience that. But I think I would like to be remembered for someone who challenged life, who tried to understand as much as he can two different cultures, which is Europe and Middle East, and who tried to be as positive and as modern as he can, and give the good example. and make people laugh, and that's it. If I succeed to have this image in people's heads, what do I want more? Nothing.
And on a personal level,
What do you
what
mean on a
happens to you
personal?
after?
What do you mean? Is this a spiritual question?
It's whatever. I put that question out, and however some people answer is there.
Um,
Do you ever think about death?
no, not really,
No?
not really. But to me, when I die, it's the end of it. There will be
Lights
nothing.
out, black.
Lights out, black, zero feeling, zero nothing, and yeah. But who knows?
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I always felt that my death would be just painful for others,
Yeah.
because to me, when you die, you don't. I mean, once it's done, it's done. You don't feel anything. You don't have any memory. You don't have any. You know what I mean?
That doesn't scare you?
It hurts me for my circle, but it doesn't scare me. No,
No.
no.
So you're ready to go tomorrow?
Yeah, because logically, once you in my own world, when you die, you just don't exist anymore. So you can't be sad about the fact that you just died, because you don't.
So no sadness, no fear. So
Uh,
today is Wednesday?
yeah.
Okay.
No, you're asking me about. No, no, you're
Example, Sunday, 8
Yeah.
o'clock. I'm
Yeah.
telling you now,
Yeah,
this is not going to happen.
yeah.
But if I told you Sunday, 8 o'clock, that's your last second. Would
No,
you have fear
no,
then?
because no, that wasn't your question. Your question was, how would you feel if you died?
No, I said, what happens when you die?
Yeah, so what I
Yeah.
explained to you logically
Yeah.
what would happen. Now, if you tell me, I go to a doctor and he's like, you have 1 week, it's, it would be, I think, the most scary thing I would ever have to listen to.
Is that because you don't think there's anything after? Or is
No,
that
no.
because...
It's just because I would be so worried about my family.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's totally on that side. It's nothing... There's
No,
nothing
no.
personally that you have your own... like.
Because I delivered a big chunk of the purpose and the message that I wanted to. I succeeded in some way, so I shouldn't be greedy. And if I leave the world today, the only thing that would scare me is family and friends, and that's it. Because I think I've done something that I will be remembered for, and that's the only thing that counts, and respected for as
Yeah.
well. I hope. That's it.
That's so interesting.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like life is too intricate for it to just be darkness.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the way everything is set up, like you take one thing out and the whole planet doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? Like you take
Like
the trees,
gravity.
you take the trees away, you take the bees away, you take
Yeah.
you know the maths behind it and all. I find it too difficult to believe that done. Whether it's energy transformation to something else. Well, we know that energy can't die.
Yeah.
Right? It has to turn into something else. So
I don't want to scare people with my beliefs.
no. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I really
Yeah.
enjoy, and this is what I think is important for people to
Yeah.
know. Because I ask this question at the end of every podcast, and every single person has a different opinion.
No, because I have a very atheist approach
Yeah.
to these things. Even though I'm a believer in other areas, I would love to believe that there's an energy. There is an energy, definitely, and whether it's a human or superhuman, but to me, death has always and logically been just the end, because I loved science so much at school and biology, and the more you get into how a body is created or how a brain is created, you know that the moment the heart stops beating, I don't know. It should be the end, because logically there would be no blood going up and down, and you
Yeah.
stop breathing, and yeah.
But see, for me,
But
this is the thing. For me, if I thought that way, that to me would make me the most fearful of death.
Really?
Yes, because so I believe something happens after.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
Maybe, by the
I'm
way,
not saying.
I'm
No,
not.
no. Of course, you know, a lot of people take Pascal's wager, which is I'm going to do this, and if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for me, if I thought that there was nothing,
Mm.
that would cripple me. I think
Interesting.
personally,
Interesting.
thinking that that's it, done,
Mm.
would be the scariest thought in the
Yeah.
world to me.
Yeah. I understand. I love something about me is that I understand everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
exactly feel your point, because you want to believe that there is something more. You believe that there is something after, and it makes you more curious,
Mm.
more maybe comfortable.
But it's not just the. I feel like life is, like I said again, it's too intricate for it to be an accident.
Mm.
There's too much specifics in it,
Mm.
down to everything.
Yeah.
Down to, and if you want to talk about science, and you
Mm.
talk about the Fibonacci spiral and all of these things,
Mm.
which the scientists they call God's thumbprint, which is
Mm.
in everything.
Mm.
Like if you cut stems of a plant or whatever,
Mm.
or everything, a grain of sand in the middle of it, there's the same pattern in everything.
Yeah.
I find that so crazy that everything is so specific for it
Mm.
to be an accident.
Mm. It's the world can be so small and so big, and
Yeah.
and the universe is just so hard to.
That's what I'm saying, and this is
explain.
why I really enjoy. I love hearing everyone's
Yeah.
different, and this is what makes us special. That we're so individual, and we all have our, like, no matter what you're told,
Yeah.
every human being still has their own idea.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
even if you're, some people get raised religiously, then they're like, I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with religion. Some people get raised atheists, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden they become Christian, or they become,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So no matter what anyone's told, everyone finds their own weird,
Yeah. The thing
thing.
is, I feel it's every country I visit, I feel like I'm downgrading and upgrading.
Mm.
When I came here, I found that I shouldn't really talk about these things,
Mm.
or even saying them to people, because I would have to explain myself
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much,
yeah,
compared to Europe, where
yeah, yeah.
I think
Where,
most of people
normal, yeah.
would be agreeing with what I just said. Um, but then I just lost someone who's very important in my life, my grandmother, a month ago, and she had the most beautiful ceremony anyone can wish for when they pass away. And the beautiful thing is that because she believes in all these traditions and all these messaging, and we felt so peaceful and um, confident on that day, while we should have been very sad, but it was magical for her, you know what I mean? So it's important that you also value how others see
Of
life
course,
and
yeah,
death, and you have to offer them the things that goes along with their beliefs. I find it very egoistic to I would find it
be like,
egoistic
this is
to
the way it
say,
is, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
why are they doing it like
Yeah,
this? No, I'm
yeah.
respecting the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That's really important, especially when you're dealing with other human beings as well.
yeah, yeah. But I find that in our not region, but in our culture, it's so difficult to talk about these things, because people get angry so quickly, and they would want to force you um, to follow their beliefs. And we have a lot of cultures. Arabs are not only Muslims.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
Christians.
Yeah, yeah.
We're Druze. We're
Yeah.
Mandanians. You have Jewish Arabs. You have so it's funny. Arabs should be another podcast, but
yeah.
it's a very interesting.
But not just Arabs. What I find interesting is that when you go all over the world, in all through the timelines, there's always been some sort of spirituality attached one way or another. Whether it be the Greeks with the Greek gods, or whether it be the Thais with this, or whether it be India with the Hinduism, or whether everywhere has something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's kind of strange to also think, why have humans always attached something else? Because it's, those times there was no aeroplanes, there was no boats, there
Yeah,
was
yeah,
no
yeah,
nothing, but yet
yeah,
still
yeah. So many things.
separated so far apart, they
If
still all
Yeah, yeah.
believed in something else other than
Something I
the
loved
accident.
they did in Louvre, Abu Dhabi,
Mm,
is that they didn't gather the art pieces by movement or by artists, or they gathered actually um, different paintings and sculptures and art pieces from different regions in the world from
mm,
the same period,
mm.
to show you that humans are actually so close to each
Yeah, so
other.
similar and
It's
so sim.
exactly
Yeah,
what you just
yeah.
said. So you would see a knife that was done in China and a
Mm,
knife in any Arabic country,
mm,
and they're so
yeah,
similar. And you would see a statue, a sculpture about pregnancy, for
yeah.
example, from Africa and from I don't know, from Australia.
Netherlands. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And you would see that humans are so close to each other,
Mm.
even though they never met. It says a lot.
Yeah,
It says a
it's
lot.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Have you read *Sapien*?
No.
It's a very interesting book, very logical though,
Yeah.
not at all spiritual, uh, about um, about humans, how they became humans, and
Mm,
how they were hunter gatherers,
mm,
and how religion came, how
mm,
money came, how empires started
mm,
to get built. And it's crazy the way the approach of the book is very interesting, because he's saying us as human beings is
mm,
the only kind of animals who actually have ideas,
mm,
and can actually, what he's saying is that we can gossip.
mm,
And the explanation behind that is that, for example, if an animal sees a danger, he
mm,
would go to his tribe and say there's a danger, and they
mm,
would all go
mm.
away. And actually, the monkey is the first animal who would come to his tribe and say
Yeah,
there is a danger, and
yeah,
everyone leaves, and he would eat
yeah,
their
yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this is he's trying to understand when was the idea of spirituality or God appear, and it's very interesting actually.
There's a lot of very interesting books like that as well about about mushrooms and these kind of things
Mm.
that
What mushrooms?
like magic mushrooms
Ah,
and
okay,
these
okay.
things that people used to take back in the day
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
that used to give them the whole
yeah.
kind of
Vegas vibe.
yeah,
Okay.
and I remember on Joe Rogan, one of them, they were talking about the whole, the halo, the Jesus kind of the halo and
Mm,
all that comes from the shape of the mushroom and all that. There's one guy that writes all about it, and that a lot of people got a lot of spirituality from taking these kind of things,
mm,
and
mm.
it's
Don't
it's,
don't
it's
don't
very.
do it.
I'm not doing it. I mean, you
Don't
can.
do it.
This is a mushroom tree now, but it's
You
it's
know,
very strange.
yeah.
Like, I just love the fact that everyone can have their own choice and have their own decision and go on their own journey, and depending on the type of person that
Yeah,
you are,
yeah.
what kind of research you do and where you delve into, and
Yeah,
all
it's
of that.
easier today though, yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier today to be individualistic than before, because um, before you had to be conformed to this community,
Mm,
depending on in which city you are,
mm,
which language you speak. And today you have the freedom to be whoever you want,
mm.
and that's fantastic.
But also at the same time, that creates an issue to some degree, that it leaves people in a state of too much choice, where they
Mm.
start making stupid ideas up.
Yeah, I mean, it leads to complexity. It leads to people not knowing what they want, because they
Yeah,
know so much.
yeah.
And take it like, for example, relationships today.
Mm,
The world is so complex, and we are
mm,
so complex, and we understand each other and ourselves so much.
mm,
It's so hard to find someone to get into a relationship with,
mm,
or to marry,
mm,
because we're too pragmatic, too
mm.
logical, to while before it was just, you
Meet your
know,
cousin. She's your wife
yeah,
now.
I think my dad saw my
Yeah,
mom once or twice before
yeah,
marrying her.
yeah.
And
But I understand that. I
me too.
understand arranged marriages because, put it this way, the European way of doing it, you meet a girl, you date her for 12 years, it becomes 15 years before somebody convinces you that you've left her too long without proposing to her.
Yeah,
You then propose to her
and she
out
doesn't
of,
even care.
yeah, you propose to her because you think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But then by the time you're married, you've already known each other for 15 years and been together for 15 years and done
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That nothing's kind of new.
Yeah, it's
When you
I
meet the
think
people, it's like a new journey together. I mean, arranged marriage is forced is not ideal, obviously. But come on, if you're up for it and she's up for it, and
Yeah.
then you go through the traditions and then you get married, but you spend the next 5-10 years learning about each other. All the stuff that you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
usually do before in Europe. So they're like, well, what's the point of getting
Yeah,
married?
yeah, yeah. I can imagine a European listening to us and it would be like,
Going,
what? But yeah, and the thing is, I think we have this in common. We know both worlds so much. Europeans, they don't care about marriage. They care about relationship, respect, and to them, I mean, it's not that they don't care, but for us, it's so different because to us, it's like two families coming together, and it's that union. And but arranged marriage, I've been through both situations. I've dated Europeans and I've dated Arabs, and I started actually dating Europeans. It was my first girlfriends, let's say. So I got used to a certain style, and then I come here and I dated Arab girls, and it was so different because Arabs, they have so much more expectations and also cultural limitations, which makes sense, and so hard to discover an Arab girl compared to a European girl. And I still don't know which is best, but it's a very complex topic.
I think the person that's best for you is the person that's best for you. I don't think they should have a.
Yeah, but I'm not
culture.
against I'm not against marrying someone that you met for a week or two.
I married my wife. I saw her at my boot camp.
Yeah.
I told her in a week you'll be my girlfriend. In a year we'll be engaged, and in a year after that we'll
Yeah.
be married.
Yeah, fantastic.
And she was like, "You're a bit creepy," because it was the first date.
But it's a very Lebanese thing, no?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm very not Lebanese.
Yeah,
I've
yeah, I
never
know,
been
I
in
know.
my life. Like
I know
told you
what you
before.
mean.
So, but out of the confidence thing, like I saw her and I was like, "Khalas,
Yeah.
I'm not looking anymore. I know." And
Yeah.
she was like, "That's weird," and I was like, "No, it's not."
Yeah. The thing is, I've been too logical when approaching relationships in the past, and I was, is she educated? Is she fun? Is she, And I think real love. Let's be cheesy a bit. Real love should not be logical.
There's no boxes to tick. Yeah.
And when you meet someone who's really you can feel a connection with that you cannot explain, maybe that's the one.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have to be educated or knows how to
Or if you're
cook.
Arab like me, doesn't matter. If you have the connection back, I have made my connection with you, and we will be married. Khalas,
Yeah,
I've made the
exactly.
choice for you, and that's it.
And then you grow together, and
Yeah,
then it becomes that exciting place where you both grow together, which is called home. And there's an excitement compared to a European girlfriend where you've known each other for so long.
And I think social media has changed a lot because there's so much more available. Like, do you know when we were growing up, for a girl to show us this much of her breast, you had to be on the phone with her for 6 months. You had to be like it would not happen. Now you go on Instagram, you see three basically naked.
But I don't recall having.
And then it's fitness.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I don't recall having ever received any picture from any girl.
We didn't have phones, bro. We're old.
Yeah.
We're old. But what I'm saying is,
the max I got is like emojis.
Yeah.
You know?
An emoji with boobs. No, but it changes like to the point that back in the day, I feel like now everything's so ready available that you feel like people are very easily replaced.
Yeah.
Because we have Instagram, you could very easily go to a girl's profile, message her or whatever. Back in the day, it was when you met someone, you met them through a friend, you might not see them again. You don't know how it is.
Yeah, you had less options.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So you were having less expectations.
And most people still have less options. Their ego makes them think that they can get all these girls that they're looking at on Instagram.
Of course.
They believe that they have those options when they still don't have those options.
Yeah.
But I just feel like now everything's just become, we've made ourselves not value each other as human beings. So everyone's replaceable. So they don't want to hold on to that one person because they think, There's
No,
there's a million other ones coming. It's no
I
problem.
would hate that.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who wanna have few relationships, but one relationship
Yeah.
as a woman, but few inner circle relationships, but forever.
Yeah, I'm the same. I have like 3 friends.
I hate replacing.
2 of them is here, and then
changing.
and this is a thing if you notice about locals as well. A lot of locals don't like making friends with people who aren't locals, as in very close friends, because what started to happen is whenever they do, because people see this place as a temporary place, they end up losing good relationships. So after a while, they started noticing, I'm tired of putting all my effort into these people, and they're not staying, they're leaving.
This is what happened to you and me.
Yeah.
We make friends, and then they're not friends anymore.
And then they're gone.
But
they travel back to their countries,
locals
they leave
are
and all that stuff.
the coolest
Dude,
people
I love
ever.
them. But what I'm saying is, I've had situations where I've become really close with a local, and he's told me personally, he's like, listen,
it's not you, it's me.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I'm scared to put effort into this relationship. Because the last 3 guys that I feel like it's a dating agency, but the last 3 guys that I became
or a war movie
that I became very close friends with all went back to their countries, and I just don't want to invest my energy and time in that kind of thing. And then I have to be like, no, I bought my house, I'm staying. Don't worry, bro, it's cool.
And it's funny because when we were teenagers, we would think that we're best friends forever, whatever happens. And we'll stay in touch, and we will meet again and live together again. And this just never happens because life is a
exactly.
You know,
we have till Sunday, 8 o'clock. You know, so let's be friends and make the most out of this this week. But I feel like the same as you. I can't be asked to be making loads of friends and that and this whole socializing, over socializing, and they're all acquaintances. It's fine to have acquaintances. But I have 2 or 3 that you can really rely on.
I'm just lucky because I have so much family in Dubai, and I think these are mainly the people that I see daily. I had definitely more friends in Belgium than here. I have acquaintances here. I have people that I see every now and then, and at the end of every conversation, I would say, "Hey, let's catch up."
You know, it's not going
you know what that means, and it's curious. It's very it's a weird approach to be an expat because you know you're leaving, and
I'm not leaving anyway. I was born here. I'm gonna die here.
Yeah, no, but I mean when you speak to people, when you speak to expats, there's a feeling that
But I find that because I don't belong anywhere, and because I kind of feel like a bit of a hippie earth child, I don't feel like an expat anywhere in the world. Wherever I go, I just settle, and I'm that person from that place until I decide I'm going somewhere else, and that's it. I'm very adaptable.
To me, Dubai is home. To me, Dubai is home. If I go to Belgium and live there, Belgium is home. There's no attachment.
You have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. There will be memories, but there is no attachment. But yeah, it's man, that marriage topic got me so excited. Something that I've been studying on my own for so long. But
don't worry, we'll have part 2 marriage and part 3 Arabs.
And maybe kids. Yeah.
So where do you go from here? What do you see in the future now?
I've been very pessimistic for a few months, if not a year or 2, and I was lazy and I didn't know where to head. I was kind of lost in my journey, in my career, because of so many elements. But dude, it's been a month or 2. I feel I'm gonna conquer the world. And I don't know where this feeling is coming from, but I have a huge vision for Sahi Media.
Nice.
I have very motivated to kick YouTube again on my Arabic and French channel. I have a radio show now. I'll have a new digital show on a platform. I'm gonna be in a French movie soon. So sky is the limit. And I want to enjoy it because I know myself. I know it's a cycle. So when it's going up, you need to really give it your maximum because being an artist, you have to sometimes go in the dark days and to find answers, and then it's always like that.
Non-stop cycle.
Yeah.
No, man, it's definitely going to be a good look.
Yeah.
Sahi Media is ready for the world takeover.
Yep.
Especially that they have me as a CFO now.
Yeah,
of,
yeah, 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 yeah.
of
Of
Sahi
course.
Media.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Look, it's not a lot. It's 100,000 dirhams a month, man. You
Yeah.
could do worse, bro. You could do a lot worse, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can be the face of Sahi Media.
Yeah, let's do it, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I need
can.
to fix
You
my
can.
nose, and then after that, we'll be ready to go, bro.
I think with this face, you can pitch any project, and with any
Well,
shitty
yeah,
idea,
with
they
this
would
mouth,
sign.
bro, the Lebanese and English mixed together, there's nothing I can't sell, bro. There's nothing I
Exactly,
can't sell.
exactly. Let's work on that.
That's it,
Mm,
bro. It's been emotional as ever.
really?
Yeah, the time has
Yeah.
flown
How
by.
long?
1:20
Wow.
already,
Wow.
and I know you have dinner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But man, it's been incredible. I think it's one of my first. It's my first English podcast.
Boom.
So sorry for
Not your last.
No, not my last. Sorry for if my English, my grammar
No,
was not.
English is perfect.
Yeah, and it's been no. Thank you, really, thank you, because I cannot open up like that on my own channel because I have my own voice on my channel, and this is kind of a therapy to me, and I can open up and say things that I don't usually say.
Yeah.
So you have some scoops if you want to do it as
That's
a
it.
trailer,
That's
so you
boom.
can
The truth
death,
about
marriage,
lie.
his girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like I said before, the reason that I love doing this and why we'll have episode 2 of us and 3 coming,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there's so much more to say, is that people get to see parts of you that they might not have seen or they might not know.
Yeah.
So if you can show them your ass now, that would be great because it's a part of,
Yeah,
that's a
okay.
part of you that they've never seen before. Too. You can just give them
You
a
never
movie
know.
to-
You never know. I have 800 videos on YouTube. I don't
It's
know what
true,
I
it's
put on
true,
YouTube.
it's true,
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
true. But we'll definitely be doing some more stuff together for sure.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm definitely down.
Yeah.
And I wish we could do a lot longer, but definitely. I mean, look,
That's a good beginning. Let
like you said, you're not going to download any more videos until all of
No,
your
no, no, of
subscribers
course.
come over to mine.
All of them.
So you're going to keep doing
Yeah.
his videos are going to come out on my channel until you guys come.
Yeah.
So
please
if you want
do
him
it
back
quickly.
on his channel,
Please do it
go.
quickly.
As always, thank you for Capital D for having us and hosting us, and Benga for being behind the camera, always the man with the plan. I saw him fiddling with the camera earlier, so I think it might want turned off for a while, but we'll talk about that later. Is there anything else that you wanna say to them? Obviously, the Lo'i, but spelt Lowi.
Yeah,
Sahi
yeah.
on
So my name in Arabic is Lo'i,
Yeah.
but in the passport it's written Lowi.
Lowi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Something I want to say is just be aware of your environment and just keep all your senses open to anything, and don't settle for what you already know.
And embrace it. You never know when your luck might come.
It's something that I really learned this week because of the podcast, the random podcast. Don't settle for what you know. There's so much more that you can learn, and it's the only way you can evolve.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Where can my 5 followers go to subscribe to you?
On Lowi Sahi.
Lowi Sahi.
If all of
on
your
YouTube.
subscribers come to me, I give you my channel.
Bro, all 5 of them are in my messages now. I can send one group chat. You'll have them all, bro. You can have them all. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
been
so much.
amazing as possible. And also Instagram, the same name,
Yeah.
Lowi Sahi.
Yeah.
Sahi. And we really need to do this again, bro.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
And we need to get your podcast out.
Yep.
And I hope I'll be an interesting enough guest to bring on there.
You are an incredible host, so I
will do
believe
it
you will
naked,
be
not selfish like you.
Yeah, but if you do it naked, it's different from my naked. You've been working on your naked.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
Nah,
been
don't
working
worry.
on my.
No, but we'll be training together now. Don't worry about it. We're gonna all set up. We're gonna all set up. Thank you guys for gibbering with Jabber. Tell them to gibber with Jabber.
Guys, Jibber with Jabber.
And that's about it. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.